Every year on December 25th, billions of people around the world celebrate Christmas, the birth of Jesus Christ. But why is it celebrated on this day? Who chose this date? When did it become so important? The answers to these questions may not be as obvious as it seems. This is an incredibly complex story that involves the Jewish calendar, Roman cults, forgotten Christian traditions, and even current debates among historians. Let's explore this topic and untangle it. The earliest written references to the life of Jesus are found in the Bible, especially the New Testament. However, of his 27 books in the New Testament, only 2 of his books contain details about his birth and none give an exact date. The Gospel of Matthew simply says that Jesus was born during the reign of Herod the Great, ruler of Judea. The Gospel of Luke records that Jesus was born during a census when Quirinius was governor of Syria. Unfortunately, this data does not match historical records. Most historians believe that King Herod died in 4 BC, although a minority date his death to 1 BC. Quirinius was appointed governor of Syria around 6 AD when Judea was annexed to Syria and a census was taken in the area. This means that there is a gap of at least 10 years between the dates of birth mentioned in the Gospels of Matthew and Luke. Even if these dates could be reconciled, the specific date of Jesus' birth would still not be determined. The lack of concern about the exact date of Jesus' birth is not limited to the New Testament. Even Christian texts from the late first millennium, such as the Proto-Gospel of James and the False Gospel of St. Thomas, which focus on Jesus' early life, do not mention a specific date of birth. Additionally, in the first centuries of Christianity, it was common for Christians to ignore birthday celebrations. Early Christian theologians such as Irenaeus of Lyon, Tertullian of Carthage, and Origen of Alexandria rejected birthday celebrations as a pagan custom. Currently, there are 2 main historical theories that attempt to answer why December 25th was chosen as the day to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. The first theory is the Christianization theory, which suggests that the establishment of the Christmas holiday on December 25th was directly related to Roman religious festivals. According to this theory, Christians began promoting their own religion as they assumed positions of power within the empire in the 4th century. One of his ways of achieving this was to Christianize elements of local culture and give new Christian meanings to existing Roman customs. Christianization theory points to his 2 important Roman festivals, Saturnalia and the birth of Sol Invictus, which may have been the basis for this new Christian festival. Saturnalia was a Roman festival honoring the god Saturn, who was believed to have ruled the mythical Golden Age, a time of abundance, freedom, and justice. The festival aimed to revive the spirit of the Golden Age through days of rituals, banquets, games, and even a social role reversal in which slaves temporarily assumed the role of their masters. On the other hand, the birth of Sol Invictus, or the birth of the unconquered sun, was one of several dates associated with the early Roman god Sol. Although this god did not occupy a central place in the traditional Roman cult, he was very popular in his military and was actively promoted by some emperors such as Trajan, Heliogabalus, and Aurelian. By the 4th century, the cult of Sol Invictus was even more established in Roman society, and December 25th was declared the day of his birth, celebrated with chariot races. Christianization theory suggests that Christians appropriated these existing dates and turned them into celebrations of Jesus' birth instead. However, this theory has some challenges. First, there are no ancient documents from the early centuries that directly link Christmas to non-Christian festivals. The first mention of such a relationship is in his 11th century, almost 1,000 years later. Biblical commentator Dionysius Bar Salabi suggests that December 25th was chosen because of its association with the birth of Sol Invictus. However, Dionysius' statement should be viewed with caution, as Dionysius was embroiled in a controversy over the correct date of Christmas and had asked for a different date in January. Second, the date and duration of Saturnalia have changed over the centuries. Usually it was held from December 17th to 19th, but during Caligula's reign it was extended to December 21st. December 25th was not only associated with Sol Invictus. The second theory, known as the computational theory, is becoming increasingly popular among historians because it is supported by a large amount of ancient documents. According to this theory, both December 25th and January 6th are the results of calculations made by ancient scholars based on the Jewish calendar. The The Gospel of John tells us that Jesus was crucified on the eve of Passover. Passover corresponds to the 14th day of the month of Nisan in the Jewish calendar. Scientists believe Nisan 14 corresponds to March 25th of the same year on the Roman calendar. According to a tradition widely known among Christians, the conception of Jesus took place on the same day as his crucifixion, that is, on March 25th. Therefore, calculating exactly 9 months from March 25th, we determined that Jesus' birth was December 25th. This idea was supported by early Christian writers such as Julius Africanus of Rome and Hippolytus from the 2nd century to his 3rd century. Calculation theory also explains the origin of his alternative date of January 6th, which appears in calculations based on the transition from the Jewish to the Greek calendar. In the eastern part of the Roman Empire, where the Greek calendar prevailed, it was more common to celebrate Christmas on January 6th. To this day, some Eastern Orthodox churches, such as the Armenian Orthodox Church, celebrate Christmas on January 6th. Regardless of the theory adopted, today, the celebration of Christmas on December 25th has less to do with historical or archaeological evidence of the birth of Jesus of Nazareth, but rather with subsequent traditions. One thing is clear. These traditions may include Christ's association with the gods, solar symbolism, or the belief that Christ was born on the same day of the month and died on the same day. The idea that the Roman Church imposed this date based on a centralized decision is highly unlikely. In the extensive church discussions recorded in conciliar documents and treatises by prominent Christian leaders of the time, the selection of December 25th as Christmas is not mentioned. Moreover, December 25th was recognized as an important day already in his 1st century to his 3rd century, when Christianity was still marginalized and persecuted by the empire. If there was an attempt to align Christian festivals with Greco-Roman festivals, it was probably done in a diffuse, localized, and gradual manner. Over time, entire communities and generations reinterpret and transform their culture, forgetting certain elements, introducing new ones, and modifying existing ones. Behind every cultural element are decades, centuries, and even millennia of change. Christmas on December 25th may seem like an obvious and universal fact, but it is the result of a historical process that invites us to explore the rich of human history. Thanks for watching and Merry Christmas.